This unusually devastating hurricane season. Are Katrina and Rita only the beginning of it? We'll tell you when the situation returns.
You challenged everything that came before you, and nothing looked or felt or sounded the same way again. That was you then, and the great thing is still you now. We are the personal advisors of Ameriprise Financial, the next generation of American Express financial advisors. Because a generation as unique as this needs a new generation of personal financial planning.
We started it, we're ending it. September 30th is your absolute last day to get Chevy employee pricing for everyone on most 05 vehicles. Like 9 models that can get an estimated 30 or better highway miles per gallon. And the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Now, get a 2005 Cobalt sedan for a Chevy employee discount price of $13,211. See your participating Northwest Chevy dealer today.
The conditions on the Gulf Coast continue to deteriorate in the wake of Hurricane Katrina.
No matter where you live, this kind of news affects us all.
The important thing to remember is that you can play a part to help those in need. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-HELP-NOW.
Because you don't have to be a celebrity to play a part.
Make a difference. Play a part.
You'd be saving lives.
Rita's live in the path of Hurricane Rita with the man in charge of emergency preparedness. What is he doing differently to keep people safe from this massive storm? And what's his plan of action for the survivors of Katrina? Vice Admiral Thad Allen one-on-one. Rita Cosby live and direct, live from Galveston. MSNBC tomorrow at 9.
Here's some troubling news. Hurricane Rita's rampage could be even worse than the Gulf Coast now fears. My next guest says this storm is trouble with a capital T, and he should know. He's been called the father of hurricane prediction. He is Dr. William Gray, a professor at Colorado State University's Department of Atmospheric Science. Dr. Gray, thank you for joining us.
Glad to join you.
So give us a sense. I mean, you have historical perspective on this, having studied hurricanes for decades, 50 years, I think. Give us some perspective on Hurricane Rita. How big and how bad is it?
Well, this is an unusual storm. There's no question about it. It looked a lot like Katrina when it was forming. Now it looks more like Carla. I can't believe it's been 44 years since I flew into Carla in the Caribbean and the Gulf right before it came in 1961. And this looks like a track very similar to what Carla did, and Carla did tremendous damage. I don't think Carla was quite as strong as this storm, though. So I see this as an awful storm, an awful one. Probably will eclipse Andrew in the damage it does. You know, up until this year, Andrew was the most destructive storm, and then Katrina beat it out by a large amount. I can't see this storm coming up to Katrina's total damage because of the breaching of the levees there. But
it's in the same league as Katrina.
I think this is going to be a terrible storm, probably the second worst damage producer this country's ever seen.
Well, that is terrible news. I know you're famous for predicting hurricanes accurately, but is there some chance, I hope, that you'll be wrong? I mean,
I hope
Friday,
that I'll be wrong too. Yeah, now there's a lot of talk about, you know, it's unusual to get these two major storms so strong in the Gulf, and everyone's asking, gee, is this unusual? Is this a sign of global warming and humans are causing that and so on? I don't think that it is. It's a surprising fact, but if you go back to 1915, there was a Category 4 that went into both New Orleans and Houston. Isn't that a coincidence?
Was the same storm went into both cities?
No, two different storms, just like Katrina and this storm here, Rita. So
but isn't it true, Doctor, that there have been more hurricanes in the past couple of years than there have, you know, there's a spike in
There
these
have been,
hurricanes.
in the last 10 years, the Atlantic Basin has seen a lot of storms. We've seen 43 major storms since 1995. Now, we were very lucky, though. In the first 9 years, from 1995 through 2003, we had 32 Atlantic Basin major storms, and only 3 of them hit the U.S. when the long-term average is about 1 in 3, 1 in 3.5. So we've been very lucky. Then we were very lucky earlier from the late 60s to the middle 90s. We just didn't have as many land-falling major storms. So in a sense, people don't realize how lucky the U.S. has been in comparison to the landfalling storms of the 1930s, 40s, and 50s.
Well,
So,
Dr. Gray, I beg your pardon?
Well, I say in a way, the climatology is sort of averaging itself out. We're in this active era in the Atlantic Basin for major storms, and we think it might go on another 15, 20 years. We don't know. But if the future's like the past, it will go on another decade or 2. Now, the question is, has the globe warmed some? Yes. The globe's warmed some the last 30 years and the last 10 years. But the other global storm basins, the activity, if anything, has slightly gone down. So people shouldn't interpret
well, some people will always interpret that for political reasons, of course.
As due to global warming.
But Dr. Gray, let me ask you one last question. This storm is predicted to make landfall in about 48 hours from now, almost exactly 48 hours from now. At what point will we know what kind of storm it's going to be? If it does lessen, become weaker, when will that happen?
Well, it'll probably weaken. My best estimate is it's a 5 now. It'll probably come in as a 4, but that doesn't make any difference. It's going to do tremendous damage. Even if it weakens to a Category 3, it's still going to do tremendous damage. So I can't see it coming in at anything weaker than a Category 3, but probably my best guess would be Category 4.
All right.
It may weaken some, but that's only the center. That's only the maximum wind central pressure in the center. These outer winds that spread way out can do tremendous damage to and cause the wind surge to be large. So I would say we should not concentrate so much on how intense the center is, because that fluctuates up and down,
but the width,
so on.
The width is
these
crucial.
outer winds that can do so much damage over such a broad area and drive a larger surge than a smaller, intense storm can.
Dr. William Gray, one of the world's foremost experts on hurricanes. I hope you're wrong this one time. We appreciate your coming on. Thanks.
I hope I'm wrong, too. Yeah.
Thanks. Coming up in this situation, America held its breath as the pilot of this damaged plane executed a perfect landing. We'll tell you just how difficult a feat it really was. Stay tuned.
Free time to make up for billable time. Hyatt Gold Passport's faster free nights. Every 2 stays earns you a free night at Hyatt Hotels and Resorts worldwide when you pay through MasterCard now through November 30th.
Paper. We print it,
copy it,
process it, and turn it into more paper.
Very complicated.
Lexmark has smarter ways to print, move, and manage information. See how at Lexmark.com.
Sprint Business is reinventing the yes man, turning the yes man into someone who can work from almost anywhere. And now that Sprint and Nextel have come together, you can work in and out of the office more efficiently, the way 96% of the Fortune 1000 already do. So if saying yes from just about anywhere with speed and confidence makes me a yes man, I'm a yes man.
With Sprint Business, you can make just about any place a workplace. Yes, you can.
The Oracle Grid, a group of low-cost servers connected by Oracle software. Now, if a server fails, the grid just keeps running. The Oracle Grid runs faster, costs less, and never breaks.
It's time for the lending industry to change. That's why eLoan has consultants who don't make money based on the rate of the loan and has no lender fees. Those are some of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan. Radically simple.
Summer is 65. That's Jenny Nielsen. She's cute. That was a fantastic summer. We were the only ones on the block who had a real pool, so everybody came. Spent all day on the water, the sun baking on my head.
You look like a lobster.
I lived in the sun.
Yeah.
Remember those carefree days in the burning sun? Your skin remembers. If you've seen a dermatologist about those rough, scaly spots on your head or face called actinic keratosis or AK, you know there are probably more still developing. Left untreated, AK could lead to serious skin problems. So why wait? Visit treatak.com or call 800-TREAT-AK for your free sun and skin information kit. You'll learn more about AK and a proven alternative to treat the AKs you see, as well as the ones nearby still developing underneath. Call 800-TREAT-AK or visit treatak.com today. Take care of the future now and help your happy memories stay happy memories.
Man, I love that pool.
Hurricane Rita. For live reports and up-to-the-minute tracking, turn to MSNBC's meteorologist Sean McLaughlin and the NBC Weather Plus team.
I strongly urge the Gulf Coast residents to pay very close attention to this storm. It's a huge storm, it's in warm waters, and there's a potential for it to increase more. They have to be prepared.
That was Acting FEMA Director David Paulison speaking earlier today. But are Texans prepared for what's turning out to be the third most intense hurricane on record? Matthew Doyle is the mayor of Texas City, Texas. That's located less than 15 miles from Galveston. He joins us now live on the phone. Mayor Doyle, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
This storm sounds awful, I'm sorry to say. You obviously know that. Is anyone going to be in your town when it hits, do you think?
So our emergency management people and our essential protection folks will be, unless it gets too ominous, then we're going to probably go ahead and pull everybody out.
Are you going to stay in the town?
No, sir. I'll be leaving sometime tomorrow.
But are you confident that citizens of Texas City will all be gone by the time this storm hits?
Well, then what we've done for the first time, the legislature let us have a mandatory evacuation by law. We have declared that. It starts at 2 o'clock this morning in our traffic plan. Really started at 6 o'clock, but the phase for Texas City starts at 2 and runs till noon tomorrow. And hopefully those that haven't already left, and a great deal of them have, will go ahead and go.
Now, give us a sense of where exactly Texas City is. We know you're near Galveston, 15 miles away. How far are you from the water?
Well, in certain parts, we're right on the water. You know, we have a levee system that surrounds our city that was built after Hurricane Carla, and it hopefully will give us a little protection. But in the surges that some of the models are showing, it will be difficult for it to hold. It will hold, hopefully, but it will come over the levee.
What does that feel like for you? You're the mayor of this city. I'm sure you love it. You probably lived there a while, knowing that parts of it could be devastated, really devastated. What does it feel like leaving your city, knowing it's going to be very different when you come back?
Either way, it will be different, but if a Category 5, high 4 to 5 comes through, it will be a completely different city. That's true. Construction on the coast has improved over the years. We've got some older parts of the city, but we've got a lot of newer parts. And with the levee system, hopefully that we'll be able to absorb most of it and be able to come back and clean up. The good thing about Texas City, it's a resilient city. The folks here will come back and work hard to clean it up. And the city workers and the folks here are ready to come back in. We've got our plan put together. We're ready to go. The only thing that's a big concern is what's been talked about previously as I was listening to your show, is that the storm surge is the thing we're worried about most.
Is there any industry there that might cause environmental problems if it were hit hard by the storm?
Most of that is already closed in. They've shut it down. Everybody's shut down. So I don't think that's going to be a big concern.
Well, we hope not. Mayor Matthew Doyle, mayor of Texas City, Texas, located on the coast. Good luck, Mr. Mayor.
you all think about us and pray for us. We'd appreciate it.
We will. Thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up next on The Situation, a miraculous landing by a JetBlue pilot at LAX tonight. We'll tell you just how difficult it was and how he was able to pull it off when we come back.
Virtual Earth. Incredible aerial photos from before and after Katrina. Virtual Earth. And the only place you can get it is MSNBC.com.
Just because you may happen to occupy a relatively small niche in the business environment doesn't mean you have to operate like you're at the bottom of the food chain. Pacific Continental, the right bank.
Right now, Oregon kids are becoming better readers thanks to the efforts of the Portland New Car Dealers Association. Through their partnership with Operation Outreach, your local new car dealers help get books to kids who don't have books at home. Teachers are getting supplemental training materials, and Oregon kids are getting a chance to succeed and excel. Feels good to know our kids benefit from the generous support of the Metro Portland New Car Dealers, Operation Outreach, and Comcast Cable, making a difference for Oregon's kids.
Possibilities. A grilled cheese dunk just hits the spot. The great ideas never stop. Campbell's tomato soup. Possibilities. Lots of goldfish, crackers swimming. Wholesome goodness you might be missing. Campbell's, good. Possibilities.
All I want is a room somewhere. A business trip beyond compare. Hampton keeps me on my game. Folks who care and know my name. All I want is all the comforts that I need, helping me to succeed. Wouldn't it be lovely?
Berta, I can see you as a file clerk. You ever thought about that? It's a great way to meet eligible lawyers. You have to think about your future. File clerk. Yeah.
File clerk? Have you ever considered becoming a lawyer?
That one thing you've always wanted to do? It's still out there, just waiting for you to say, hello, future. Call your advisor about the powerful resources of Lincoln Financial Group.
Suspense and drama this evening on a Los Angeles runway. Americans were riveted to their sets, and the passengers on the plane riveted to their sets as a plane carrying 145 passengers and crew made a perfect landing with its front wheels locked and sideways. The pilot of the JetBlue airliner headed to New York's JFK Airport from Burbank is, simply put, a hero. Here to help us understand how tricky that landing was, retired airline pilot and former safety representative for the Airline Pilots Association, Captain Paul McCarthy. He joins us by phone from Boston. Thanks a lot, Mr. McCarthy, for coming on.
Good evening, Peter.
You were obviously a pilot for a long time. You said you flew for Delta. You must have some sense of how these pilots felt. They must have been sort of scared, weren't they, do you think?
Well, no, scared probably isn't the right emotion. When you know you have a problem, the beauty here of modern technology is that the long-range cameras actually gave him a very good idea of what the problem was. And once you know what the problem is, you create a plan, and then you go ahead and fly the plan. And it looks like it worked out perfectly in this case.
Everybody who's talked about this, former pilots, passengers on the plane, seems very calm, but things could have come out very differently. Isn't that right? I mean, this could have been a disaster.
Yeah, there were three things that could have happened. What you saw and what you're seeing right now was kind of the intermediate. You have a small fire as the tire burns up. The best case would have been the wheel would have what they call castered, and it would have turned around like a normal landing gear. The worst case would have been if the landing gear assembly, the strut, would have collapsed, and the airplane would have been down on the nose of the fuselage. That would have been, as I say, a worst-case scenario.
What happens at that point?
Well, what happens at that point, the same fire you're seeing out of the tire now gets into the fuselage, and you begin to jeopardize the overall integrity of the aircraft. If the pilot doesn't put the nose down correctly, if the nose does collapse and you have problems with the fuselage, you could end up looking very much like you saw in Air France a couple of months ago.
This looked to the novice, me, like a perfect landing. Was it technically a perfect landing, and was it hard to execute for the pilot?
You know, believe it or not, it wasn't that different from an ordinary landing. You land the airplane, you keep it on the center line, and then the trick is letting the nose down while you still have control over the vertical speed of the aircraft. And it looks like he gauged it just about right. About 90 or 100 knots, or maybe 100 miles an hour, is when you have to gently lower the nose to the ground.
Now, we learned tonight, or I learned tonight, that the Airbus 320 is not capable of jettisoning its fuel. Why is that?
Well, it's the case with an awful lot of airplanes, not just the Airbus, but the Boeing airplanes as well. The aircraft that are designed for what you'd call short to intermediate range flights have really no need. The reason you used to jettison fuel was if you lost an engine. And these aircraft are more than capable of flying on one engine with a full fuel load. And so to reduce complexity and quite frankly, ease of manufacture and ease of maintenance, they've done away with the fuel dump system on the smaller aircraft.
What do you think the most striking thing about this whole story, I thought, was the fact that the passengers in the plane had actually a lot of information for once they're able to watch the coverage of this unfold on cable news, on television. If you were the pilot, would you have kept the televisions on in the cabin? Was that a wise move?
Yeah, boy, that's a very hard question. That goes back to some accidents we had 15 or 20 years ago when they used to have pictures in the cockpit so the passengers could watch what was happening from the pilot's point of view. And we had that in a couple of accidents, one particularly in Chicago, that would have argued, no, it's not a good idea. But here, the passengers knew what was going on. They saw the video, and that probably helped keep things under control back in the cabin. So it's something I hope that we'll be looking at as aviation safety folks as an aftermath of this incident.
What happened in Chicago? I don't remember that.
That was an American Airlines aircraft that lost control in Chicago. And the passengers actually would have had a pilot's eye view of the accident as the aircraft went in.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah, so that's a balance you have to make when you have this type of entertainment system back in the cabin of the airplane.
And finally, when you're a pilot, do you worry about losing control of your passengers, bluntly put? I mean, someone flipping out and charging the cockpit? I mean, do you worry about keeping people calm?
You worry about keeping people calm because the passengers are your responsibility. That's why you're there, is to make sure those passengers are safe and they're in all respects taken care of. And if I can avoid anxiety to the passengers while still keeping them informed, I will. I'll never lie to them. I'll never not tell them what's going on, but I don't want to unnecessarily alarm people either. And in this case, it looks like this particular flight crew was able to balance that very, very well.
It seems that way. Captain Paul McCarthy, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you, Tucker.
Well, for my next guest, it's not a good flight unless there's turbulence. Commander Michelle Finn and her brave crew just returned from a surveillance mission around Hurricane Rita in a plane. Commander Finn, thanks a lot for coming on. How was your trip?
Actually, it was a pretty good trip.
Flying into a hurricane was a good trip. Well, tell us about it. I mean, what did the hurricane look like? We've been seeing representations of it all day on the tube, but when you actually look out the window and see it, what do you see?
Well, obviously it's intensifying. So, we are up at flight level 410, 41,000 to 45,000 feet. It looks a little bit different to us than it does for our NOAA P-3s or the Air Force C-130s. We climbed up to 410 right away, started flying to the south around the storm, headed down to the western tip of Cuba, shot the gap between Cuba and the Yucatan, and then started weaving our way back up the western side of the storm. And it was a pretty moderate flight for us.
For you, yeah. Well, we last spoke to you. You had just taking a look at Katrina from the air. How would you compare these two storms?
They're very, very similar from my point of view up at that altitude. When we were flying, it was obviously intensifying. The aircraft that were lower were reporting pressures dropping, and it was obviously increasing.
So it's a scary looking storm then?
It's a very scary looking storm, and this one's hitting me personally. I went to school at Texas A&M at Galveston, so I have lots of friends and acquaintances still in that area.
Now I know that when you're up in the air, you drop devices into the storm. Is that right?
That's right. I actually have an example right here. This is a kind of a mock-up. It's the ones that we actually dropped aren't clear plastic, they're actually cardboard. We dropped this device out of the storm. We actually released about 28 of them today, and this parachute will fly up and start slowing down the descent. And this instrument will measure pressure, temperature, wind speed, direction as it drops from the aircraft up at flight level 410 to 450 down to the surface, send that information back to the aircraft, and then we package the information and send it back to the meteorologists at the Hurricane Center.
So who's the guy with the job of tossing those things out the window at 40,000 feet?
Actually, we had 2 birthday boys tossing them out today, and it's actually, they don't toss it out of the window. We have a pressurized drop tube in the back of the airplane. So they drop them out every 15 to 20 minutes.
What's the turbulence like as you're flying around the storm?
We only encountered slight turbulence, very, very, very slight turbulence today. I'm expecting it to get a little bit more interesting tomorrow and Friday.
These storms are so huge and so powerful, I don't need to tell you. Are you ever concerned about the structural integrity of the plane?
No, I'm not. We basically, when we're flying up at flight level 410 to 450, my job is to avoid all of the major convection at our altitude. And we've got a great radar. I've got a meteorologist that backs me up, avoiding that weather. And as far as the plane goes, we've got great maintenance technicians working on it. So I really don't worry about my aircraft.
So the plane can handle a pretty rough ride then?
That's right, but the goal is to not make it go through any major turbulence.
What's the roughest you've had?
We've had a couple hits of moderate turbulence where we lose a couple hundred feet, lose and gain a couple hundred feet, but that's really usually pretty short-lived.
Boy, if I dropped a couple hundred feet in a plane, I'd be concerned.
Well, our co-workers on the P3 pretty much experience a little bit more glory and a little bit more activity down at lower altitudes.
Boy, you're brave. Commander Michelle Finn, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow, by the way.
Thank you.
Still ahead of the situation, it's almost impossible to imagine a more devastating storm than Katrina, but we'll talk to a man who says we had better start imagining it. A shocking look at Rita's potential impact on the Gulf Coast when we come back.
Tonight, will you be able to catch a great night's sleep? Or will your restless mind keep chasing sleep away?
I've got to remember that appointment tomorrow. Did I send the car payment?
Introducing Lunesta, a sleep aid that can give you and your restless mind the sleep you need. Lunesta helps most people sleep all through the night and works quickly, so take it right before bed. Lunesta is non-narcotic and approved for long-term use. Of course, do not use sleep medicines for extended periods without first talking to your doctor. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Avoid taking Lunesta with alcohol. All sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Ready to catch a great night's sleep? Just climb into bed and leave the rest to Lunesta.
Promise Buttery Spread helps maintain a healthy heart when eaten instead of butter or margarine. And now it's rich with heart health essentials like omega-3 and vitamins B6 and 12. Plus, there's no trans fat and lots of creamy, buttery taste. In fact, it's our healthiest and tastiest buttery spread yet. No wonder hearts are beating louder. New Promise Buttery Spread, taking your health to heart.
Soto and Partners.
McPhee and Associates, King Brokers.
Hello.
Hi.
Now with free incoming plans from Sprint Business, it's easier to say yes when customers call. And with our buy one, get one free deal, you and your company can say yes. Sprint Business gives you free incoming calls from all phones, all networks, all the time. So you can make just about any place a workplace. Call 888-863-9835 or visit a Sprint or Nextel store today. Sprint Business. Yes, you can.
Coming up, we'll be joined by the head of a Houston engineering firm who says if you thought Katrina's impact was bad, brace yourself. This one's worse. A scary look at what Texas might look like after Rita. Situation returns.
Introducing the 300 horsepower Acura RL. With voice-activated technology and super handling all-wheel drive, power can be shifted front to rear, side to side, and while cornering, the outside rear wheel is accelerated for dramatically improved handling in all weather conditions. The all-new Acura RL.
Do you know how much your home is worth? Would you like to turn your equity into cash you can use for any purpose? Just log on to ditech.com for your free online e-appraisal. Right now we're offering a low fixed-rate home equity loan with a flat fee of just $49. And you can borrow up to 100% of your home's value and close your loan quickly and easily. Find out why so many other lenders are saying, lost another loan to Ditech. Log on or call 1-800-DITECH-1.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm.
If you're on the coast between Beaumont and Corpus Christi, now's the time to leave.
Into this world we're thrown.
No wheelchairs, 7 people.
I don't want to left behind.
Yeah, I just want to get out the island and be safe, be with my family.
2 more people. 2 more.
People loading up their whole families. They're getting out early.
Killer on the road.
We are not assuming anything. We are going to be hooked at the hip with emergency managers to make sure that we're all prepared.
Battening down the hatches, pulling anything in that can fly or float.
Killer on the road.
We hope and pray that Hurricane Rita will not be a devastating storm. But we got to be ready for the worst.
Riders on the storm.
Houston, Texas engineering firm has assembled a chilling worst-case scenario model of what could happen if a Category 5 hurricane landed a direct hit on the Gulf Coast of Texas. In addition to the toll in human lives, the impact on the region's crucial oil economy would be devastating. I'm joined now by Chris Johnson. He's the president of Dodson & Associates, the firm that built that model. Mr. Johnson, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
So what kind of destruction could Hurricane Rita bring?
Well, the storm surge itself could cover about 369 square miles. Assuming a Category 5 hurricane hits the city of Houston and Galveston just right, and that land area is about twice the size of the city of New Orleans.
So are you saying that the actual city of Houston, which I realize is enormous geographically, but could there be parts of the actual city of Houston that are affected by this storm?
Well, quite a bit, actually. The southern southeastern quadrant of Harris County would, in a large degree, be covered with water. That's basically the Houston Ship Channel area that includes a lot of the petrochemical industries and the Port of Houston, the Johnson Space Center, just to name a few.
Now, I know that having recently driven through there, there are a lot of petrochemical plants in that area. What would be the effect of this storm on them?
Well, I'm sure that many of those facilities have levee protection for high water from riverine flooding and some storm surge. The question that's out there is how high are those levees and what condition are they in? We saw in the example with Katrina in New Orleans that the levees were not high enough, and in the cases of many facilities, it's very rare to design a levee to the height to withstand a Category 5 storm surge.
I wonder why, though. I mean, this is an area that Galveston, anyway, famously was the location of the worst natural disaster in American history. And so you would think that physically the building codes, for instance, would be, to such a point that buildings would be able to withstand, a pretty rough storm. No?
Yes, it's a risk analysis when you look at something that's very, very, very rare occurring. Unfortunately, the way that needs to be assessed is to recognize the potential for harm should it actually occur.
Right. But residential buildings are one thing, but if you've got a petrochemical plant, you've got to be thinking about your responsibility to all the people who live around that plant, and you've got to be building and taking precautions accordingly. So you'd think these places would be able to withstand anything. Is that a wrong assumption?
Well, it gets back to what's reasonable expense and how much protection do you need, and that's everybody's question about do I evacuate or not? Do I carry this much insurance or not? It's a risk-based decision, and facilities plan for something that is rare, but they don't plan on total protection from anything that could ever happen.
Well, as someone who plans for a living, what would you do? Would you evacuate are you evacuating, by the way?
Well, I am not. I'm in my home tonight, but I live in Spring, which is on the north side of Harris County.
Yes. And finally, is this going to affect the rest of the country's oil supply? It seems like there are a lot of oil refineries down there. Are we going to feel it economically, do you think?
Well, I'm not an economist. I'm not a petrochemical expert, but just a hydrologist and hydraulics engineer. But looking at about 36 chemical plants and 5 oil refineries and recognizing the refinery capacity along the upper Texas coast is in excess of the entire state of Louisiana, I would think that we'll have a larger impact from a worst-case scenario coming up through Galveston than Katrina did for us.
That is this could be worse than Katrina. I think that is shocking to such an extent. I don't think most people really believe it, and I hope we're all wrong, that it's not worse, but it sounds like it really could be.
Well, one of the points of good news is in Katrina you've got a situation where it took several days or weeks to drain the water off. In our case, we do have some slope, and water will drain off given a little time. So we may not see the duration of inundation that we saw in New Orleans, but we certainly do have the high property values, the industry, and the pure square mile coverage probably in excess of.
All right. Chris Johnson, president of Dodson & Associates, joining us tonight from Texas. Thanks.
You bet.
Still ahead on the situation, Katrina was supposed to be a once-in-a-generation storm, but here we are just weeks later, faced with another huge Category 5 that could be as bad or worse. Is there a reason for this terrible hurricane season, and could it get worse? Answers when we come back.
There are sports drinks that help you to fly, to soar, to defy gravity. But who's there to help when you hit the ground? To promote healthy knees and joints, one company wanted to make a drinkable dietary supplement. They turned to Cargill, where scientists created a good-tasting liquid form of key ingredients, resulting in a solution for healthy joints that's easy to swallow. This is how Cargill works with customers.
If you've got broadband, you're ready to save. Visit Vonage.com/free offer or call 1-800-959-4VON. And for a limited time, get your first month free. Also available at these retailers.
What shape will the alternative vehicle of the future take? Will it be roomy, yet fuel efficient? Will it run cleaner, yet more powerfully? It will, if it's the world's first luxury hybrid, the Lexus RX 400h, the first vehicle of the future you'll want to drive today. See Lexus of Portland.
Listen up, fellas.
I do know that. You're the big hero.
Joey, my name is Tom.
Your name is Joey Cusack. You're from Philly.
What's going on?
I thought I was somebody else. These are some real bad men. None of this makes any sense.
Tom is who he says he is.
Why don't you ask Tom, how come he's so good at killing people?
A History of Violence, rated R.
What are you?
Starts Friday in select cities. Next, overloaded pumps, patched levees, the surprising new dangers New Orleans is facing as Rita bears down. Countdown, MSNBC, next.
What did CT say?
Our rate's 240.
Okay, let's get it to cooking too.
Rita, SVT, get the crash card.
It's okay.
It's all gonna be okay.
Two monster hurricanes in just 3 weeks, and the season is still far from over. Is this a sign of things to come? NBC News chief science correspondent Robert Bazell looks at what might be causing this destructive phenomenon.
It looks to be a record. In recorded history, two storms as powerful as Rita and Katrina have never hit the U.S. in one season. A coincidence, perhaps, but scientists say ocean temperature could be a big factor.
If you think of a hurricane like a car, there's a lot of parts that make it go, but the sea surface temperatures and the heat that's provided by the ocean, that's the gasoline that keeps the whole thing going.
In the Gulf, there is a lot of fuel right now. To measure sea temperature, researchers use buoys that transmit readings directly, as well as remote sensing satellites. Those readings have found record temperatures in the Gulf and Atlantic this year.
The sun was having an easy time reaching the sea surface there and just warmed up the water and just made it ripe for a lot of strong, intense hurricanes this year.
The big question, will the trend continue in future years?
Scientists say that one season, even like this one, cannot indicate anything about climate change. But those same measurements show that in the past 50 years, the oceans have warmed by 1 degree. That may not sound like much, but experts say it is a lot of energy.
What must have been a nightmare for them.
Indeed, recent studies show that worldwide, the number of Category 4 and 5 hurricanes has doubled with that 1 degree change, a source of worry.
At the moment, we've only warmed up 1. What happens when we warm up 3 or 5, which is projected in the next several decades to the end of the century?
Warming that many experts say results partly from humans releasing greenhouse gases.
That was a floating casino barge, just literally lifted up and was dumped on the other side.
Possibly creating even more violent storms in the future. Robert Bazell, NBC News, New York.
Still ahead on the situation, we'll look in on the NBC Weather Plus satellite for the very latest position and the strength of what quickly has become a monster hurricane, Hurricane Rita. Stay with us.
Paper. We print it,
copy it,
process it, and turn it into more paper.
Very complicated.
Lexmark has smarter ways to print, move, and manage information. See how at lexmark.com.
Have you got a strategy in place to take your company to the top and stay there? Winning businesses have smart strategies. That's why I recommend Administaff. They provide administrative relief, big company benefits, reduced liabilities, and a systematic way to improve productivity, enabling business owners to get back to doing what they do best. Small business is good for America. Administaff is good for small business.
The Oracle Grid, a group of low-cost servers connected by Oracle software. Now, if a server fails, the grid just keeps running. The Oracle Grid runs faster, costs less, and never breaks.
Caught ya watching TV the old-fashioned way, without TiVo. Well, now you can call and get TiVo, the world's best DVR, delivered to your home for only $49.99 after a $150 mail-in rebate. Our lowest price ever. TiVo digitally records 40 hours or more, with no tapes, no timers, no worries. TiVo gives you complete control. Pause live TV. Later, hit play and it's like you never left. Rewind, replay, even in slow motion. Going to be out during your favorite show? TiVo finds and records every episode all season long. It knows the channel and when to start and stop. Then, watch on your time, so you'll never again feel there's nothing good on TV. Fast forward through the boring parts, too. Call right now. Get TiVo delivered to your home for only $49.99 after mail-in rebate, plus our low monthly service fee. A $150 savings. TiVo. TV your way. At the lowest price ever. If lines are busy, please keep calling.
There it is. Hurricane Rita started as a tropical storm, not taken seriously by some. It is now today officially the third strongest hurricane ever measured in that region. Sustained winds of 165 miles an hour, 140 miles wide. Experts say this is as big and destructive as it looks. It's aimed directly at the Gulf Coast of Texas and including its vulnerable petrochemical plants there. This could turn out to be not simply a human disease.
From Atlanta.